everyone. Welcome to this Boinx Live. And today's program is pretty packed, and so let's get started. Hello, Achim. It's always a pleasure to do this with you. Everybody in the live streams, please post your questions in the comments, and we will do our best to answer all of them. So let me just deal with a couple of technical issues here. You know that with the lockdown, the demand for live streaming has increased dramatically, and so a lot of streaming services are experiencing a little problems, and we are no exception here. But I hope we will still be able to do this. Achim is at the end of a LTE internet line, stuck at home, so please forgive us if the stream quality is not always the 100% it should be. But it worked quite well before when we tested, and so we are in good hopes that this is going to be going well. So let me just quickly do this and this. So hey. All right, so what is the topics of today? We've got a couple of things to discuss. We have a lot of customers doing using mimoLive now for spicing up their video conferencing, working with Zoom, WebEx and Skype. And I think Achim, let me just switch back to this view. Achim is gonna be able to give us a quick demo on how we can use mimoLive with WebEx and Skype and Zoom, which is the one thing that most of you are doing right now. So Achim, I'm gonna switch to your camera now, and we can
so Oliver, you need to tell me if the quality is good enough to see also all the pixels on my screen. I'm trying to switch my screen right now.
So
hold on. Okay, so let's see how my screen will look like. So how to use mimoLive with Zoom or Skype, for example. I just create a blank document for demo purpose, but you can imagine it could be your complex document, of course. And all we need to do in mimoLive is to add another output destination. We call it virtual camera. This means that the macOS gets another camera to its list of available cameras, and this camera actually is your program out from your document. And we don't need to do anything more, except maybe you need to install the plugin, but it will tell you so, and you need to download it because it's not with the bundle. So once you installed it and implemented it like that, you can head over to Zoom and start Zoom, for example. And in the preferences of Zoom, you can switch to the video setup, and here you can select mimoLive as your source. So currently it doesn't change much because it looks exactly the same, the camera, as before. But once I add, for example, a lower third, that's probably something you want to do in your Zoom conference. Let me just switch this to manually and switch this layer live, so you can see here's my name and in the zoom you will see also the program out of mimoLive. Don't bother about the mirror text here. That's totally normal. Your audience will actually see it in the correct way. Also do this for your audio, of course. If you have special audio from mimoLive coming out, like a video or any special other audio sources, you can switch to the mimoLive output sound as well. Same applies actually for Skype. Or should I show this?
Yeah, show Skype. Show Skype, yeah.
Quickly. In Skype, it's actually important that you start mimoLive first and then start Skype. Otherwise, it won't recognize mimoLive as a camera source. However, you can also see in the preferences there is an audio and video panel, and it's pretty much the same. Here you can select mimoLive as the source, and you also will see the text is mirrored. But again, don't be shocked. This will be okay with your audience. Yeah, that's basically it.
All right. Let me just see if I can find you again. Hey, here you are. So I think we can take some questions from the audience and say hello to a couple of people. I spotted Hannes. Hey. And Glenn. Hi. How are you doing? And we have some questions. And let me see if we... let me just scroll to the beginning. There's lots of people. Thank you for joining us. And also thank you for posting the questions. All right, so here's one from: how can I send a custom audio mix to a mimoCall caller, e.g. mix minus plus producer back channel? So that's currently we only send the program out mix minus to the mimoLive caller, to the mimoCall caller, but we are working on adding the feature to be able to select a mix that we send out, and also a video source to send out, so you can send out just the camera for the moderator. All right, Santos, I think we answered your question, how Skype users can listen to video contents we may play back as a live moderator. You just simply play the video from mimoLive, and you use both the audio and the video from mimoLive, and then you will also have the audio in mimoLive. Christian, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. And all right, so yeah, so I think that was the questions. Interestingly, I see a lot of questions from YouTube, although that shouldn't be possible, but I don't see any from Facebook. I need to just quickly check the Facebook stream to see if there are any comments there. No, yeah, there are lots of comments, the same comments. Why are the same comments on YouTube? And oh, because I didn't go to Facebook, I clicked through to YouTube. All right, so sorry for this. All right, the next feature I wanted to demonstrate to you is, we are big fans of NDI, and NDI came out with something new this week, and they've made it free for the next 60 days or so. So if you haven't done, you should just go and fetch it. And the idea is, of course, let me switch to the other camera here All right, so the idea is to do screencasts from iOS devices via NDI. So what you see here is the app called NDI Capture, and what it does is it sends out the screen and the audio over NDI to mimoLive. So once I start it here, it will give a quick countdown, and then I can switch here and see the stream coming in as soon as possible. Right, so now I see the stream from the iPhone, and I can just switch to mimoLive Reporter and do a mimoLive Reporter update, which we will have later on in the stream. So I can do teach a do a screencast or teach about an app or show an app, or whatever you want. All right, so that's quite cool and exciting, and it's, as I said, it's free now, so go and grab it while you can. So all right, so that's the second part of our demo here. Let me bring Achim back here. So yeah, so any more questions we can answer for the time being. I hope our marketing guy Steffen is monitoring also, and I think he might have said something here. Okay, so yeah, so there is we should mention, he says that you can do also Google Hangouts with mimoLive, and the same thing works basically for WebEx and pretty much every video conferencing or webinar platform out there. So one comment here. Let me see. There's a lot of comments. It's hard to follow. Yeah, how was Achim brought into this call? Yeah, so yeah, we are using something built into mimoLive called mimoCall, and mimoCall is just like Skype, much easier though to set up. I just have it just sent him a URL that he can open in Chrome, and his web camera and microphone will be connected to my mimoLive studio, and I can just use it as a like a separate microphone and a separate camera. And since Achim runs mimoLive on his end, he can also do fancy stuff like bringing in his screen. Although mimoLive also does screen recording, but then we would have to have two connections to Achim, which is also possible. But right now with the network bandwidth issues, we've decided to just have Achim use mimoLive to capture the screen of a second computer he is using for demos, and then send that through mimoCall to me, and then I'll mix it into the stream, into the video signal, and stream it out to Facebook and YouTube. So what else do we have? Yeah, that's a good question. Jeff, can I integrate a Zoom live stream into mimoLive? Yes, basically through the same method that Achim is using to capture his computer. There's multiple ways to do that. You can do a screen grab locally on the computer and just grab the window output of Zoom. For the audio, you have to do a little trickery, little tool by Rogue Amobia. I hope I'm not scrambling that name too much, called Loopback. Install that, and then you can grab the audio from Zoom into mimoLive as a microphone, basically. And in Skype, it's even easier to do Skype because Skype also comes with NDI built in. So if you run Skype on a computer on your local network and have some calls, Then what happens is that all the callers and their audio is made available on the network as an NDI source, and you can just simply grab that NDI source with mimoLive. And the easiest way, of course, is mimoCall. Just set up a mimoCall source, send out the URL to your callers, and they can connect instantly without having to sign up to any service, creating no accounts. Just enter the URL.
No downloads.
No downloads. Just enter the URL in the Chrome browser, and you're connected. And it doesn't get much easier than that. All right. Okay, so if we don't have any more questions right now, let me get back to my script. So what other news do we have we can cover? So we have some other news from our other products. For example, Photomagico for iPad. We've just released a new version a couple of days ago with some improvements to performance, and also we've lowered the price. So if you had been looking into getting Photomagico for iPad and use it to go through what you wanted to do all along, is going through all your photos and creating cool slideshows, right? So right now, sitting at home, that might be something you want to check out, and the price is significantly lower than it was before for the editing. If you have Photomagico for the Mac, you can always use the iPad version to look at the slideshow on your iPad or to present it on your iPad. If you want to edit it, it's a subscription fee. Very low one right now, $10 per year, and for 1 year, and you should go and check that out. All right, so back to mimoLive. Achim, we have some more demos up our sleeves for mimoLive.
Yes.
We have. I can just thank you to Steffen for posting the loopback link there in the comments. If you want to pick it up, just go there and see. All right. We have shipped mimoLive 5.5 recently. I think it was a week or something ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. It's hard to tell in these times. So Achim has 2 more things to show you from what's new in mimoLive 5.5, and I will switch back to him and let him take it away from here.
Yes, and I can switch to my computer. I hope you can see the screen pretty well. So the first feature we added is a new source. So sources are added to your document with this plus button in the upper left corner here. And this source is called last recording. This source actually does a movie playback, but with your last recording, your local file recording you did on disk. So let me just demo that. We're using a file recording output destination on the right, switching it to a lower resolution, so I have more disk space available. And now, that's not the right one, H264. So I can now do a file recording of my show. So I just wave, hi there, that's me, and stop the show, stop the recording, and immediately can recognize that the recording is present in this source. I can use this source, for example, on top of my own camera view, and in the preview you already see me waving with my hands, and I can instantly play that back. So this source is actually meant for kiosk applications where you want to present a customer a short movie they just recorded, for example, and have them a closer look to it. This was the first one, and now we're coming to a different feature. Just close this again and make another document. We realized that a lot of customers are trying to remote control mimoLive and struggle by how to get the correct URLs and information to actually control mimoLive. And so we added a bunch of context menu items, we call it. So for example, if you right click on a layer, we have a new entry here that means and that says copies layer API endpoint to clipboard, and this will copy the appropriate number and code to access this specific layer. This will look like this. I just show it in text edit. I can paste the clipboard here, make it a little bit bigger for you to view. But this isn't enough to remote control mimoLive. You need the actual access point. So I'm heading back to mimoLive, opening the preferences, and here we have the remote control tab, and you need to switch on the remote controls. This will start an HTTP server in the background, and this is the address to access the HTTP server. I also copy this right from here, and we need this in front of our URL. So it reads just like an ordinary URL you're familiar with from your web browser. Please make sure that you have only one slash at this location, because both copy paste would be with a double slash. So this is actually the access point for the API to access the placer layer in this case. And in this case, I want to switch this layer off. For example, I can do this with the command set off. The commands are documented in the mimoLive documentation online, so I can show this in a second. Now I have an URL that I can put this in Safari and send it off, and you will see the layer will be switched off in the background. And the command to switch the layer on is set live. It's exactly the same URL, but with the command set live. And once I put this in my browser and send it off, the layer gets switched on. So this is Safari controlling mimoLive. You will get back a lot of data. Maybe you want to use this in your application. This is all the data describing the layer. In this case, is the placer layer. Now, we want to use this not only in Safari, so you can use it, for example, in Terminal as well. In Terminal, you have this short command called curl curl, and we can switch off the layer exactly with the same URL again. Curl set off, and it is set off. And switch it on again, of course. Curl switch live, set live is the command, and now the layer is back on. And if you furthermore want to use this in AppleScript, you need to run the script editor, and the command in Apple script to do terminal commands is do script. Now we need to add our URL, of course curl. We need to do a script command, compile that. Don't like this. Do shell script actually. Here we go. So running this will switch off the layer, and having the same with switch live will switch it live again. And for example, I can add a delay of 3 seconds in between those commands. And here we go, switching on, waiting 3 seconds, switching it off again.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool. Just to mention why we have, I want to mention that this API is, on one hand, it's documented. Oh, just delete here. But of course, you can. We have built in a remote control, so you don't need to create your own for your web browser or your device. So in case you don't know this, press on the remote control button in the toolbar, and you will get to Safari or your browser, and then you will be presented with a remote control editor and surface for your document. For example, I simply can create this remote control. I have my placer layer right here, and can use a toggle placer live button. Those are predefined, but you can certainly create your own. And once I switch the remote control live, I can switch on and off the layer from a web browser. So also you can use this on any iOS device or tablet, of course, and easily create a remote control to control mimoLive from a remote device. Back to you, Oliver.
All right, cool, very, very cool. So yeah, so this is if you're planning on doing some automation with mimoLive, it is possible to do that. It's a little technical, admittedly. We could make it easier if we had more time, and maybe in the future we will have more time and do that. All right, so a couple of questions from the audience regarding mimoCall. Frederick, how many mimoCall is possible? So we've done 5 or 6 internally for testing. It is possible. It's not limited. Somehow it's limited by how many streams your computer can decode. We have one-to-one connections, unlike video conferencing systems, to ensure the best quality in audio and video into mimoLive. Every connection is from your computer to the caller directly, and we don't do the thing that, for example, Zoom does, where they put all the speakers into one stream on their end and send all the video in one stream to you. In mimoLive you have all the callers on separate streams, separate audio, separate video. So your computer needs to decode all the video, and it needs to have enough power to do that. If you have one of the new Mac Pros, you can probably do 20. The other thing you need to have is, of course, a big internet pipe. And if you live in Switzerland, well, not right now, but if you normally live in Switzerland, they have gigabits up and down lines available, and there's quite a number of mimoCalls you should be able to run over these lines. But 5 or 6 shouldn't be a problem. I've seen the University of Upper Austria in Linz, doing 5 streams yesterday. 5 callers into the studio, 4 callers into the studio, and the moderator. So that was possible on a MacBook 15-inch, and so should be good. Yeah. So
I just want to mention, because I run into this today in a support case. If you happen to have one of the older Mac Pros, the black trash cans, unfortunately they need to encode the video and software. They don't have a hardware chip to encode the video, so unfortunately you're very limited on those machines.
yeah, but those are like 20 years old, and Apple doesn't want to have you any of those. Just send them to Tim Cook, and he will get rid of them for you. All right, so do we have another question? I saw a question that would bring us to the next topic here. Dirk says, sorry I'm a little bit late. What's about IFB? We tried mimoCall from mimoLive to mimoLive Reporter on an iPhone, but no IFB sound was received on the phone. And that is because there was a bug in mimoLive Reporter that unfortunately we didn't catch before we shipped the last version. And just this night, the last night from yesterday to today, we were able to ship the new version, and the new version should not have this problem anymore. Just wanted to quickly mention it. It's mimoLive Reporter 2.3, I believe.
Yes,
is that correct,
and
Achim?
I need to add as well that you need to update your iOS version to the latest. It's 13.4, because it's a combination of our app and iOS 13.3.
All right. So let me see if we have more questions. We have, unfortunately, I'm not able to get the questions from YouTube automatically. Let me see if there are so many. I'm sure we will go back and answer all of them after the show. But right now we just want to keep going with more news that we still have to cover, and we will go back answering questions, I think, after the 2 more topics we have to cover. So yes, one thing is a mysterious yellow box that's been on people's minds for a while now, and this Achim just did a major redesign of the yellow box. And Achim, do you want to just give us a quick peek at what's going on there? Can you lift it up into the camera, or is it too fragile?
No. So here we go.
All right.
As you can see,
that's great.
We put in a plexiglass front for you to see more of the inside. We updated the audio interface and also the router to have all the inputs in the front, so you can access everything from the front. And also we exchanged this porch, so
yeah, so
we're working on it and see.
And the major
the
news basically is that we now have all the parts ready for machining. So the internal support structure and how the devices are mounted to the front plate are being 3D printed, and we will have an aluminum front plate being CNC machined, and then we'll be able to ship both a do-it-yourself kit, and with reselling partners in the United States and over the world, we'll be able to you'll be able to order the whole yellow box pack, the whole box. You find more information You'll find more information about the mimoLive box on our website, boinx.com/mimolive/box. And this is really exciting. If you're interested, just fill out the contact form on that page and let us know, and we'll get back to you as soon as we have a way to ship it. Well, unfortunately, the current situation with the coronavirus has slowed us down a little bit, and because the supply chains are not working as they usually do, and we had to wait for some of the parts to be properly made. All right, so, and the last thing I want to show you is something I'm pretty excited about, and just it's just this little camera here from Mevo. And the reason why I'm excited about this is it's going to ship soon, and it's an NDI based camera, which now supplies NDI Edge X over Wi-Fi, and I have two here and tested them, and they work really quite beautifully. And once the Ethernet, power over Ethernet adapter becomes available for this thing, it will have a wired network connection for NDI, which is also much better, and also provide power over the Ethernet connection. So it's a perfect camera to go with the mimoLive box. And together with the adapter, it's under $500. And that is an amazing.
Oliver, I'm
amazing
wondering
camera.
how many of those cameras we can get in the box.
Well, we can even probably store 3 or 4 of them in the box and don't have any space issues. All right. Sure. Good. So that's, I think, covers all of our information, and we will, after I do a quick recap what we showed you today, we will go back and answer people's questions in the chats. There's so many questions. Thank you so much, but it's a little hard to follow along, and we will do our best to find all the answers. But just to wrap up, the information part of this is we showed you how to use mimoLive with video conferencing tools, Zoom, WebEx, Skype, and Google Hangouts, and that's fairly easy done by using the virtual camera feature of mimoLive. So you can take any camera, NDI camera, SDI camera, whatever, and bring that into your favorite video conferencing tool, your favorite webinar tool, which is gives you a much better production quality for your shows there. We showed you the NDI screen capture app from NewTek, which is allows you to now send the screen of an iOS device wirelessly over NDI to mimoLive, which is also very cool for creating those training videos for any apps, or making screencasts, or just answering people's questions on live streams about the apps. And of course, now that you have this source available on your network, you also need a tool to make it look pretty, and mimoLive is exactly that. Allows you to show the contents of your screen in a very appealing manner in a window, as I showed you, or picture-in-picture as I showed you, or we do also have a 3D model for an iPhone, so it looks like it's a virtual reality thing. Also, new version of Photomagico for iPad, now available at a steep discount to keep you busy during the lockdown, finally sorting through all your photos and videos and turning them into beautiful and amazing slideshows. And we showed you mimoLive 5.5 and 2 new features of that. The last recording feature that allows you to basically automate production of videos, and the remote control, new features in the remote control, which we haven't shown before, and Achim did a great job at showing you how you could remote control mimoLive through the HTTP API. Also new update to mimoLive Reporter. The version 2.3 fixes the issue with the audio from the mimoCall not being sent back properly. And we gave you a quick update on the mimoLive box, which is exciting because it allows you, it's a fully full NDI-based live video mobile production workflow in a box. I took it with me on a plane to California and showed it there, and it's really easy to set up at a venue. Takes you about 10 minutes to cable wire the cameras to the box and start streaming. And I showed you the Mevo start. I did another video, and I'm sure Steffan's gonna put the link into the comments on both Facebook and YouTube, where I did a quick review of how amazing this camera is. Yeah, so that's, I think, a lot of content for today. I think we'll take another 15 minutes or so to answer people's questions. Let me just go back into the screen. I think I will be trying to go from the most recent questions to the older questions. Sorry about that. So they are in reverse chronological order, but I think that's the easiest to do now. Manuel asks, why not put the screen in the cover of the box? So yeah. All right, so the idea of the box is that you can actually remove the cover, and Achim is going to show you that. So the screen is
this is actually, yeah, Oliver.
Yeah. So the screen is a mobile screen. It attaches to the Mac Mini that's built in the box with the USB-C cable. Doesn't require any additional cabling for power because it's powered over USB-C. And you know, the idea to have it built into the into the box lid, so you can watch it from the outside, would require you know, the idea of the box is that you have everything in the box and you can really carry it around and everything will be protected. If the screen would be on the outside, it wouldn't be protected. And you can actually remove the lid and put the box on the table in the way you're used to, like a 19-inch rack. And all right, good. Oops, something fell out of the box, and the glass broke.
No, just a little plastic piece.
Okay.
Holding the name tag.
Okay. All right. See. Frederick, maybe I missed it. Is Zoom possible to integrate? Yes, we showed that at the beginning of the show. Maybe you should go back and watch the beginning. All right, so there's a lot of comments from Tom Yocom. I hope I'm not scrambling your name too badly. A few questions. I have 10 remote reporters. How many can I have live in Mimo? I think we answered that question. There's no limit built into mimoLive, but your your internet connection and the encoding and decoding capabilities of a computer are going to be limiting. All right. So I can't see more questions in the comments window in mimoLive. I'm just gonna go and look at the live stream and see the questions there. Let me see the YouTube. A lot of people there. So James, Steffen, is the yellow box online carry-on size approved? Who's Steffen? Where's Steffen?
Oh, go on.
Is the yellow box carry-on size? No, the yellow box is not carry-on size. I checked it into the cargo, and it came. It arrived almost intact, but the problems we experienced there were tied to manufacturing problems in the prototype. So the mounts basically that kept the devices that mount the devices to the front plate weren't designed to withstand the forces that happen when you put the box onto something and you drop the box basically, and we've now fixed that. So the new version will be much sturdier and will survive you checking it into an airline. Well, once they fly again and you can actually check something into the airline.
So Steffen fished out a question by May Moore. Any plans to integrate somehow with Instagram story, if at all possible?
Oh yeah, Instagram. Instagram is a very interesting topic. We have just found out Bastian, one of our former co-workers and good friend of ours. He came and said, did you guys know about this site called InstaFeedMe? And InstaFeedMe is a hack that allows you to get the RTMP stream URL and stream key for Instagram, for your Instagram account, and so you can use mimoLive to actually stream to Instagram. And I think we'll do some demo next week maybe to show you how that works, because of course you want to stream portrait video and not landscape. And what we do now is landscape video 16:9, and Instagram wants portrait videos. And of course you can create portrait videos with mimoLive, and the big advantage of mimoLive is that you can use any camera, even landscape cameras, and turn their video into portrait. And Bastian, aforementioned Bastian, did something like that a couple of years ago, where he actually turned the camera around on 90 degrees. And with mimoLive, you can then have the full resolution, 1920 by 1080, and have a high quality video signal. So that's one of that's a really interesting use case. But the caveat here is that Instagram doesn't want you to do this, and so they don't provide an official API for us to use, so we don't support it natively in mimoLive. We are talking to them, and we're talking to them all the time, asking them, please. A lot of people, a lot of our customers want to stream to Instagram. Please make it available. And I think they heard it enough, and they might have their reasons for why they don't do it. Alex Lindsay mentioned the other day on his daily hangout, his daily Zoom session, that it might be because RTMP isn't very secure, and it's very easy to get it wrong. And so maybe that's the reason why Instagram doesn't provide an RTMP ingest. It does provide an RTMP ingest, but it doesn't provide an API for us to use it. So maybe. So if you use something like Yellow Duck or InstaFeedMe, it's on your own risk. It might be if your channel is popular enough. I know of some people who got a slap on their wrist by Instagram for streaming live from a video encoder other than the iPhone or the Android phone, the mobile app, Instagram mobile app. That's the way they want you to stream, and if you do anything else, you run the risk of getting their wrath and raising their interest. All right, so that's Instagram, and I think if you want to do it, you can do it at your own risk. All right, let me see if I find any more questions. So many questions. Which processor or GPU in a Mac Pro and MacBook Pro is recommended for streams with 4 mimoCall reporters? So I think 4 streams are fairly easy. A recent iMac, recent MacBook Pro with an i7 processor or better is going to be able to do 4 calls easily. I've done 4 calls on my MacBook Pro 15-inch and on my Mac Mini. But that is also because they have built-in hardware encoders. So it's unlike the old Mac Pro Achim mentioned earlier. mimoCalls are encoded using hardware on those devices, and so it's actually quite good performance. Can the Mevo camera be accessed remotely over the internet from mimoLive? E.g. mimoLive in Manchester, Mevo in London, Paris. And the answer to that is yes. Not the camera itself, but if you connect the camera in London and Paris to mimoLive and use mimoLive via mimoCall to call into your studio in Manchester, then you can use the camera remotely. I mean, that's one thing. I'm not giving away too much, I think, Achim, if I tease a little bit about mimoLive being able to be a client for mimoCall natively in the future sometime, maybe soon, maybe not so soon. Let's see. And then you can just use any camera via mimoCall anywhere on the planet and any microphone, and send that over the internet to mimoLive. Alternative plan. How long does the app review process usually take, and when do you expect we'll get access to a working version of Reporter? It's on the store. The review took all of 5 minutes, I think, this time. We had to wait about an hour from submission to review, and a couple minutes later it was approved. So it's available on the store right now. You can download it, mimoLive Reporter 2.3, and it should work. We already got one 5-star review today that said, yeah, it's amazing how fast they fixed it. So kudos to Achim and Laden here. All right, so one more question from Glenn. Is screen sharing part of mimoCall? Yes, you can use mimoCall to send the screen instead of the camera. What Achim is doing is not actually using mimoCall to record the screen on. He is using mimoLive to feed via the virtual camera into mimoCall, so he can do the screen recording locally on his desk, on his computer, and can switch to his computer screen locally. But in previous versions of this Boinx Live webcast, Achim had actually 2 mimoCalls, one showing the screen of his computer and the other the webcam and microphone. But that takes twice the bandwidth, and we don't have that today, so we had to change the setup and do it differently today. All right. All right, another question was, can you send a specific video source back to the mimoCaller? we're working on this. It's obviously a big request, being able to select both a specific video and a specific audio mix to send back to the mimoCallers, because it is a little bit upsetting to see yourself twice in the mimoCall window. You see a small preview of you of your camera view. You can switch them around and have the smaller one be the program feedback from mimoLive. And you also get from mimoLive back the program feed. So you see, if you're on screen, you see yourself twice basically. And once one of it is a little delayed, which is upsetting to some people, annoying to some people. Although even it looks like your audio and video is out of sync, as you can see with Achim, if he says something, video and audio is in sync in the live stream and
Hopefully.
in my mimoLive. Yes, it is. But he doesn't. For him, it looks like he's out of sync, because the program out view he gets back has me in sync, but he's delayed a little bit, and so that's there's some latency for the mimoCall. It's not very big. It's actually quite. I think it's maybe less than a second or around a second. But there is some latency, and if Achim says something, the video he sees back is a little delayed. All right.
So in the same context, Tony Tang asked, in the Mimo Reporter app during a mimoCall, is there a way to make the return feed full screen and make the self view as a small thumbnail? Unfortunately, that's not possible currently, but thank you for the feature request. We'll think about it.
We'll absolutely, you guys. If you have any feature requests, we are very much driven by demand. So, of course, we have our own demands, but customer demand is a very important consideration when we decide what we implement next. So keep that coming, and we hear you. All right.
So you want to mention the forum, for example? So
oh yeah,
it's a
exactly.
good place,
So if you want to get in touch with both Achim and me and the rest of the team, the best way to do that is the forums. Boinx.com/forum will get you to our forums, and we always love to see what you guys do. Please post your projects, your ideas, and your questions, of course. If you have any issues, let us know there. We'll be answering as soon as possible, as fast as possible. And the benefit, of course, is that everybody gets to read it, and you might find your question already answered somewhere else. So that is a very good way to get in touch. All right. Oh, more questions. Where are we? How to capture 4 Zoom reporters. Okay, so one, if you want to capture Zoom video in mimoLive, the only way right now is to capture the Zoom output, the screen. Either do a screen recording locally on your computer, or have a second computer that provides you with audio and video output that you can get into mimoLive through a capture device, and that is currently the only way to do this. If you need high quality video and audio, we recommend using mimoCall instead. It's easier to set up, but I understand that some people are locked into Zoom, and but there is this way to do it. But Zoom doesn't give you a lot of control over the video, so you might want to double check that. All right. Well, Achim, do you see any more important questions? We've been doing this for about an hour now. I think That's plenty enough. Also, Blackmagic is now announcing something new. We sort of opened for them. And we're gonna stick around a little bit more, but if you want to leave, thank you again for watching this webcast. As always, Boinx Live is also available on YouTube for your re-watching real-life pleasure. So a video on demand pleasure. And you can always contact a comment, put comments there. We will monitor the comments and answer your questions even after this live stream is over. And also come to the forums if you want to get in touch. All right. Yeah, Richard, I think we answered your question. Will a video and audio copy of this conference be available? Yes, on YouTube. It's preserved for prosperity, or at least until YouTube is going broke, which is not likely to happen anytime soon. And so you find everything there. Is it possible to use an external sound card and get control of all the inputs in mimoLive? You can choose which outputs from the video sound card you input in mimoLive. This is a little complicated, but that's basically how the audio devices work. So you have the inputs in the audio devices and you have the outputs, and the outputs go into the computer. So the inputs get, and you can have like 2 stereo inputs or 4 mono inputs or whatever. And mimoLive just takes whatever the device shows to the computer. We're not able to control the device from mimoLive, so you can adjust like gain or something like that. That's one of the reasons why we built a new audio mixer into the mimoLive box, because it has 4 adjustable knobs in the front, so it allows you to control the gain manually a little bit outside of mimoLive. All right. Well, Achim, do we have any more thing? One more thing? No, we don't have one more thing right now. We'll do another one of those pretty soon, I hope. Now that we are under lockdown, there's not much else to do. Haha. Achim is pretty busy with updating mimoLive all the time, and so we don't get to do those calls as much as we'd like to. And but there's always another week, and next time we'll see you. Thank you everybody for watching. Achim, one final word.
Thank you. Happy streaming.
Happy streaming, yes. And we'll see you around in the forums or in the comments, or next time we do one of these things. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye, good night, have a good day.
Bye-bye.